Welcome back to NBA coverage here on The Edge. I'm your host, Jacob Wayne, joined as always by Braxton Reynolds. We got three games here on this Friday slate. We got the Bucks and the Pacers, the Clippers and the Mavs, and the Timberwolves and the Suns. Coming off of another tough day for the first basket picks, but still up 18 units overall. Always going to be a volatile market. So make sure you tail all the picks, and it's going to be ups and downs and losing streaks, but a couple of big hits and we're right back to it. So I wouldn't give up on those just yet. And Braxton's going to bring us a lot more fire picks today. And then solid day on the player props as well. I hit Franz Wagner over 3.5 and 5.5 assists. Josh Hart under 14.5 points to not hit. I would play that again. The dude is having a out of body experience in the series, and I will potentially be fading him again. We'll see. And then KCP did nothing in that game, so I think I would play that back again though. So let's move on to these Friday games here. Braxton, let's get things started with the Bucks and the Pacers. Anything in the first basket or player prop markets that you like here?
Yeah, I just also want to open with, sports betting tip of when you go on a massive hot streak and then the cold streak happens, which is inevitable.
Right.
It's always good to not let emotions kind of dictate your sports betting and, what unit sizing you're using. It's good to be consistent and steady your process. So it's kind of a good lesson, and you'll definitely learn that if you cap the first basket prop because there's going to be massive streaks.
100%, dude.
So I'm going to go prop first. I'm going to go Aaron Nesmith over 1.5 threes at minus 166 on DK. I'm just going to keep firing on this if they give me this price. I don't think it's juiced enough. In 2 games, he's had 7 and 8 3-point attempts. Pacers are generating roughly 30 catch and shoot threes, 29 wide open threes per game. Both would lead the NBA. So it's pretty clear how the Pacers are going to attack Milwaukee. And Milwaukee's pretty content with that. They have to adjust even further and stop Siakam scoring, which I think only is going to generate more outside looks for spot up shooters. So Nesmith, he's just in a great spot. If the Bucks adjust, it's not going to be against him. So I think his volume is going to be pretty steady at around 7 to 8 threes. So, to hit two, roughly 25%, 30% shooting, I'm going to take the juice. I don't think it's juiced enough. So, yeah, 1.5 units at minus 166 on DK.
Yeah, I'm on this one as well. So glad to see we're aligned there. Neesmith shot 44% on wide open threes during the regular season. He's shooting 26% on those in this series. So really very clear positive regression spot. I think his minutes are pretty safe too. They really need his perimeter defense against Lillard and the rest of the Bucks guys. And I mean, honestly, with the way the Pacers roster shook out over that second half of the season, like I think his minutes are pretty safe in the rotation. And he's over 1.5 threes in 8 of 12 games, 67%, where he sees 34 plus minutes, been over that in both games so far. He's also over 1.5 threes in 21 to 26 games, where he gets 6 plus 3-point attempts, so an 81% hit rate. He does shoot 4% better at home this season, so I think that could help him out here as well. And yeah, with the Bucks continuing to trap Halliburton at the top of the point of attack, like he's going to continue to see open threes, and I think he'll start to hit them with more consistency. I laddered his 3-point play up to 2.5 and 3.5. Make sure you shop around; those odds can be different on different books. But yeah, love the spot for Nesmith here. Any first basket picks in this one, Braxton?
Yeah, just to add too, like you said, he's their best defensive wing, so his minutes floor is very high. For first basket, I'm going to go Brook Lopez and Bobby Portis. Going to play both of them. 0.7 units on Portis plus 550 FanDuel, and then 0.7 units Brook Lopez at plus 750 on DK. And that will be first field goal because it is DK. So, I think with the way they're defending Lillard and his odds are very short, he's not really a viable play for me at this point. Maybe if Giannis comes back, that changes things. But I think Lopez and Portis, they're getting a lot of good volume, especially decent first basket. They're not getting the first shot, but second, third, fourth, first field goal attempt. I like to see that if a guy's hovering around that area. it generally means that, he can definitely take the leap to good first basket usage. And then they're taking a lot of overall shots. I think Indiana's interior defense benefits Portis a lot. Brook Lopez is pick and pops. He's getting a lot of shots from the top of the key that are pretty clean, relatively clean. So I'm just going to back these two guys. I think at their odds, and with Lopez heavily favored to win the tip, they're both good plays in this spot.
Love that. Yeah. I'm so tempted to run it back with Bobby Portis today, man. I bet his points prop in both of the first two games. He got plenty of volume. The matchup's great for him. He just couldn't finish his shots. And I think he's going to do better today. And naturally, the day I'd stop betting him in this series, he's going to have 30 points tonight because I already know that's how it works. So if you're watching this, like, go take his prop. I don't know if I have the stomach for it again, but if I don't do it, he will be. He will be hitting. So, let's move on, Braxton, to the Clippers at the Mavs 1-1 series here. I think we're going to get pretty long series in this one. So excited to see how that plays out. Kawhi Leonard, I'm hopeful he'll be closer to full health today. He came back in that game too, and clearly wasn't 100%. He hadn't had any contact in practice yet, and you could see it. I mean, that was his first real run in live action, and I mean, he looks like a guy who hadn't taken live action in a month. So I think he'll be a lot cleaner today, a lot more polished in his stuff. So excited to see how that plays out and shakes out for the rest of the lineup. But Braxton, I'll go to you first here. Any thoughts on the first basket market in this one?
Yeah, I think of the games, this one's the most murky, I would say, because the tip off isn't as clear as other games. And then there's a lot of options that teams could go to. So I'm playing my long shots in this game, zero point 0.3 units on Luka 3-point, running this back, plus 2,600 FanDuel. And then also PJ Washington 3-point, zero point 0.3 units plus 2,400 FanDuel. I think the play and the angle still remain good. Luka's had 26 3-point attempts in the first two games, and then PJ Washington's at 11. So they're getting massive amounts of volume from the 3-point line. And Luka's team first field goal attempt percentage is very high. PJ Washington's volume hasn't been great for first basket, but I think the odds are good enough based on his shot profile and how much the Clippers allow catch and shoot shots, corner shots, above the break shots. So I think plus 26 and plus 2,400 for events that I think have a higher chance of happening. They're good odds.
Nice, yeah, I like that. I have one prop here, which is Russell Westbrook over 3.5 rebounds. You can still find it at looks like there's a minus 140 at BetMGM. That's still playable for me. You can also pivot to his rebounds plus assists or PRA prop, but bottom line, this is a bet on minutes, and Westbrook has played 23 and 24 minutes in the first two games of the series so far. He's been their best player by net rating in this series, and his energy absolutely shifts the game when he comes onto the floor. In game two, the Clippers built a 73-67 lead, and then Westbrook subbed out, and the Mavs basically immediately went on a 14-0 run that sealed the game for them. Ty Lue talked about it after the game and was asked about it, and I think he's going to give Westbrook some more minutes today. Just a gut feel as a Clippers fan from me, but Mason Plumlee has not been good in this. He's basically been unplayable in this series. He didn't play in the second half of the last game at all. And the Clippers are getting very close to an 8-man rotation. So even with Kawhi back in the lineup, I still like the minutes for Westbrook here. Even though his minutes drop by about 6 per game with Kawhi, he's still over this rebound prop in 17 to 23 games between 18 and 24 minutes, which I would say is a fairly conservative estimation for him here. I wouldn't be shocked if he's closer to 30, depending on how things go. But that's a 74% hit rate. He had 14 rebounding chances last game, second behind only Zubats on the team. And like I said, his energy, he's going to shift the game when he comes in. He's going to be hustling, trying to go for every single rebound. Clippers have grabbed 60% of available rebounds with Russ on the floor, 43% without him. So I love his rebounding upside in this matchup. Over 3.5 rebounds, over 7.5 rebounds plus assists, both playable to me, or the PRA plot as well.
Yeah, I'll always support a Russ prop. You know that. And rebounding too, he just outworks everyone. I don't know
Yeah.
how he has the energy in the fourth quarter at his age, to just outwork everyone, but he does.
Dude, he's so just a quick aside, he's so interactive with the fans at the game. It's so much fun when he'll make a big play and then he plays to the crowd so well, and like they absolutely love him in LA. So yeah, a lot of fun watching Westbrook play in person. Let's get on to our final game here, Braxton. We got the Timberwolves at the Suns. Wolves took a 2-0 lead in the series. Sportsbooks expecting the Suns to bounce back today. They're favored by -4.5 points. I couldn't get to a spot where I could lay that number, even though it is the Suns' spot in this game. Interested to see interested to see how you see this one playing out, and then if you see any value in the first basket market here.
Yeah, I'm going to play Durant. I think that it's an oldie but goodie. He's taken the first shot in both of the first two games. I'm playing him at 1 unit at plus 500 FanDuel. The matchup is just so good for him because Minnesota, basically their game plan is to shut down everyone else and allow Durant to take middies the whole game. And they don't think that Phoenix can compete with them on a points per possession basis if that's the case. And they're kind of right. I mean, Durant, he's not going to shoot well enough to keep up, but I think the volume's going to be absurd. The mid-range shots that Minnesota allows, it's going to benefit him a lot. So I'm playing 1 unit on this, plus 500 FanDuel. He's burned me twice by missing the first shot in both games, but, hopefully he rebounds here.
Yeah, I think he talked about after the game too that he wants to be more aggressive. We saw him take a little bit more of a backseat in game two, and he has the best matchup out of any of the three guys if they're going to put Cat on him. One that I really like, but I haven't fired on yet, and the hit rate and like the game log doesn't support it, but I like Kevin Durant over 3.5 assists in this game. I think he's going to try to be more. I think they're going to try to have him be more of a playmaker for Booker here. Booker's had a really hard time initiating offense against Jaden McDaniels, but if you get him moving off ball and put him in movement and like let him be more of a catch and shoot guy, I think you're going to have a lot of success. And Durant's a very capable playmaker when he's asked to fill that role. He just isn't usually in this lineup because they have Booker and Beal, who are kind of their de facto point guards. But I think in this game tonight, you're going to see Durant initiating the offense a little bit more, and I think that's going to open up opportunities for Booker off ball. So I like Booker's points prop, and I like Durant's assists as well. I'm not positive how I want to play it, but curious if you can kind of see that vision with the schematic there.
I can see it. They are at home too, which is going to benefit the role players.
Yeah.
My only worry is that Jaden McDaniels is one of the best off-ball chasers in the NBA. So
Yeah.
even if they get Booker off ball, it's still going to be tough. I don't mind the 3.5 line, actually, now that you said that, because I think 4 is definitely in his wheelhouse. I kind of like Durant points, too. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, the points probably, I played it in the last game for small, but I could totally see him bouncing back here, especially after his comments after the game where he wants to be more aggressive. Maybe a points plus assist play as well. Could definitely just see this being a KD game tonight, and yeah, I like his props a lot. Anything else in this one for you, Braxton?
Yeah, one final thing. I'm going Wolves fourth quarter money line at -105 on FanDuel. So they've outscored Phoenix by 5 points in each of the first two games in the fourth quarter. I'm not surprised. Phoenix was the worst fourth quarter team by far this season, outscored by 11.6 points per 100 possessions in the fourth quarter, roughly 4 points per game. And that's a season average. That includes games against Detroit, Charlotte, Washington, where you're going to beat up on them. They were by far the worst team. 105 offensive rating in the fourth quarter. They just don't really execute offense. They don't execute actions well. They fall apart. They don't really know who to go to. So that's not really a good sign against Minnesota, the top defense in the league. They've held them to 22 and 23 points in the fourth quarter. You don't want to multiply that by 4. That is a bad game-long points. So I think Minnesota once again just closes it out and takes the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting. Neither one of these teams was particularly good in the clutch during the regular season. T-Wolves were bottom 6 in 27th in net rating. Suns were 23rd in offensive rating. T-Wolves were 22nd in offensive rating. Wolves have been way better in the clutch so far. They've really just pulled away in the fourth quarter in both of these games. It felt like the Suns had kind of fixed some of that at the end of the season when they went on that run against. They had the most difficult remaining schedule over the last 12 or so games, and they did really well against it. It felt like they kind of fixed some of their clutch stuff, and then right back to the way they looked for most of the season in this series so far. So curious which version of the fourth quarter Suns we get tonight, but I can see the logic there for sure. Any final thoughts on these three games today, Braxton?
Yeah, I think that the Pacers are going to win. I think, sorry to say this, but I think the Mavs are going to win too. I think they take this game. I'm not buying Kawhi Leonard at this point. I don't think he's going to be fully healthy. Maybe in another game or two, he could return to his old form. But until then, he's kind of disrupting the offense. I don't think he's a good enough playmaker when he posts up to kind of take advantage of Dallas. So that's my concern there. And then I think Minnesota takes this too. I think Phoenix,
Really?
they look like they don't want it, personally. They look like they kind of gave up in game one. They don't have the defense, and I'm worried about their offense here.
Interesting. Definitely a contrarian pick on the Wolves, but I could see it. I did grab the Pacers at -4 at open. It's up to -6.5 now. I wouldn't play the -6.5. That's a pretty hefty number. Even with, I think Middleton might be out today, right?
He was questionable when I looked. He might
So
be
keep an eye
out.
on that injury report. But yeah, if he's out, the Bucks are gonna have a really difficult time in this matchup. I agree on the Pacers front. I think they win this one. First home playoff game in a few years. Been a while for Indiana
He's
fans. So
questionable, yeah.
gonna be a great crowd out there in Indiana. Hope you guys enjoy these three games here on Friday night. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to bring you daily coverage of these NBA games with player props, first basket picks, and the whole thing. A little more spread picks as we go along as well. But yeah, hope you guys have a great Friday, and we will catch you on the next video.